Have you ever wondered how a society could be so entranced by the spectacle of gladiator fights, a violent and lethal form of entertainment? Well, to understand this, we journey back in time to ancient Rome, where the concept of gladiator fights was not just a form of amusement, but a reflection of societal values, dominance, and a potent blend of skill and showmanship. The origins of gladiator fights are steeped in ancient Roman history. The tradition began as part of funeral rites during the early Roman Republic around the 3rd century BCE. Wealthy Romans would pay for gladiatorial combat to honor the deceased, a ritual believed to placate the spirits of the underworld. It was an intimate spectacle, reserved for the elite and performed in private. But, like all things in the grand scheme of history, gladiator fights evolved over time. What started as private ceremonies for the elite transformed into a public spectacle under the late Republic. The fights moved from the confined spaces of the aristocratic homes to the grand amphitheaters, the most famous of which was the Colosseum. The gladiatorial games, or munera as they were known, became a tool for politicians to win the favor of the public, a strategy that proved successful over the centuries. The gladiators themselves were a mix of volunteers, slaves, and prisoners of war. Some chose this dangerous path for fame and fortune, while others were thrust into the deadly spectacle, fighting for their very survival. They trained in special schools, honing their skills with a variety of weapons, from swords to tridents, and learned how to put on a good show for the crowd. These warriors lived by a code, a blend of martial discipline, showmanship, and the ever-present specter of death. The impact of gladiator fights on Roman culture was profound. The games were more than just a form of entertainment. They reflected societal values and served as a means of asserting dominance. The gladiatorial games were a mirror of Rome itself, showcasing its power, its love for spectacle, and its acceptance of violence as a form of amusement. The outcome of these fights was often a matter of life and death, decided by a thumbs up or thumbs down from the crowd. This gesture was not just an indication of the crowd's bloodlust, but also a symbol of their power and influence over the fate of the gladiators. In summary, gladiator fights in ancient Rome were a spectacle of skill, brutality, and drama. They began as private funeral rites and evolved into public spectacles used for political gain. The gladiators were a mix of volunteers, slaves, and prisoners, training to fight in a deadly spectacle for the amusement of the crowd. The games were a reflection of Roman culture, societal values, and dominance. The outcome was often decided by the crowd, a symbol of their power and influence. This brutal form of entertainment remains a vivid symbol of the complexities and contrasts of ancient Roman civilization.